Yeah, we are really excited about adding Destiny Wells. She is a proven success at the college level. Obviously, for us, I think it's a huge plus that she's from Tennessee and really enjoyed getting to know her in the recruiting process and love the type of person she is. I knew what type of player she was, but really loved getting to know her as a person. She's a great addition for us.
Kellie, what are the intangibles that she brings to this team, and also what do you remember about playing against her 2 years ago or last year in the tournament?
Yeah, I remember there were times I didn't think we could guard her very well. Destiny, she's on the court, very elusive. She has the ability to score. She has the ability to pass. She does a great job finishing. A little bit smaller guard, but she does a great job finishing despite that. The intangibles, I think she is a competitor. She's kind of a no-nonsense, no-drama player, just wants to win. And, I think her steadiness as a person, her consistency as a person really carries over on the court.
Is she vocal? Will she have a presence in that respect coming in just 1 year like this?
Yeah, I think for her, well, she's got two. She's got two. Yeah. So I think for Destiny, and I think for anybody coming in as a transfer to an established team, to an established roster, they have to work up to being a leader. I think she has the potential to do that. I think just the respect that her teammates here are going to have for her automatically. Because of what she's done, and some of our players actually know her. They were in the same system, same summer system. But I think she has the ability to be a leader. I think she mostly leads by example, but I think she's competitive enough, smart enough that she's going to be able to do what we need her to do vocally.
That steadiness you mentioned, will that confer maybe on the status with her teammates? I mean, if you look at her stats, I mean, she just produces.
Yeah, I think anytime you have somebody that's consistent on the court and a consistent person, I think that is a great teammate, and I think that it's somebody that immediately you can count on.
How excited are you for Jordan Horston and her future as the WNBA draft approaches?
Yeah, I'm really excited for Jordan. We've talked several times, and obviously there's the unknown of what's going to happen at this point. But she's excited for the opportunity, and we're here to support her all the way through that. And whether that we're talking about continuing workouts with her, making sure she's on a schedule, and just supporting her as best we can. But the really cool thing is you're getting to see her realize her dream, and that's exciting.
When you reflect back on the past 4 years that she's been here, is there any specific things that you will remember about her and her play? I know there's so many, or just the overall impact that now that she's not going to be a Lady Vol anymore, that she's left.
Yeah, I think when you to me, the basketball piece, what sums it up with Jordan is the production. I mean, just the ability for one person to affect the game like she did is tremendous. She affected every single column on that stat sheet and then some. And I think just that shows her skill set, her dedication, but just her athleticism, her size, the gift that she has as a basketball player. It was on display time and time again in the orange uniform.
Kellie, is there still more? Could there still be more comings and goings roster-wise? I mean, what can you say about it?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything set in stone at this point. We're still recruiting, and we're still looking to see what makes sense for us. I wish I could tell you exactly what we're going to do, but things change daily. I'll tell you every single day, multiple times per day, we're looking into the portal to see what fits us, and hopefully by the end of the month or so, we'll have a solid roster for next year.
Do you have a sense for where your kids are at in terms of that? I mean,
Yeah, we feel good about the 10 returners that we have. Really excited about them, and they're dedicated. We've been in individual meetings, we've been in team meetings, and starting workouts next week.
Assuming that, I mean, you had to do a lot with bringing in so many kids last year to help. The chemistry thing was, I mean, that was going even into the season. Assuming you won't have to do as much of that, what do you pivot towards then for next year? What gets prioritized?
Yeah, I think, I think the chemistry will always be working on chemistry will always be a priority. And I think for us, we worked a lot on our off the court chemistry to help build it on. It just took a while for our on court chemistry. I think everybody was trying. We just had to define and figure out what roles everyone was going to play through. And that just took time. It took games to be able to work through that. But that's going to be a priority every year. Your team's going to look different every year. Your chemistry is going to be different. Your leaders are going to be different. It's going to be important to work through that. But for us also, I think last year we were really heavy into our offense. We wanted our offensive production to improve, and that was a huge focal point for us in the offseason. It paid off. Our offense was a lot better statistically this past year, so we'll keep that focus. But I think we've got to get back to making sure the defense is where it needs to be.
You're kind of in a similar situation going into this season as you were last season. Only one person coming as freshman, no freshman coming this year. So that portal recruiting, what do you feel like you learned the most about having to bring that team together in the process you just kind of talked about?
Yeah, I think games. It took more games than I was anticipating, and I think that's where, we had no margin for error early on in the season. Our schedule was so tough, we couldn't work through. We couldn't figure things out. We were every single game you're trying to win. You're not trying to figure out who and how and why. It was a learning experience, I think, for not just us, but across the country. You could see it across the country with a lot of different teams. And I think that's something that we'll have a better handle on this year.
When Rakia announced that she was coming back, is that something that took you as a surprise, and just how important is that for next year's team? We have these conversations throughout the season. So I felt that's the way she was leaning the entire season. Every conversation we had, I felt like that's what she wanted to do. She does love playing here. She sees her future in the WNBA, but she's enjoyed being here and believes this is a great opportunity to continue to grow as a basketball player. And we're extremely excited that we're going to get to coach her another year. When I talked to her during the tournament, she said that she had never had a coach for 2 years straight, and that played a part in her wanting to come back. What does that mean to you, and just how beneficial is it for her to have that experience under her belt before entering the draft?
I think the development piece and some consistency in her life on the court is going to be huge for her. I think Ray Burrell had the same thing, only hers was mostly in high school. So I think she had 6 straight years of different coaches, and it allows you to grow. You're not starting fresh every year. So Rakia has a good handle of what we're doing here, what the expectations are. I think we can really push her and challenge her to continue to grow as an athlete.
Coach, you talked about your tough schedule. Obviously, the team with the weakest schedule went on to become the national champions. What is your thinking going into scheduling next year, and kind of looking back at the season, what did you think about your schedule?
Yeah, obviously, hindsight's 2020. I think if I had to do over, maybe not so many top 20 teams in November or December. But I tell you, our players talk about it, and they loved the challenge. They felt like it allowed them to grow and to pull together. And, they'll tell you that us coming on late was a direct correlation to the schedule. That's what they believe. I think every team is different. Every program is different. Every program every year is in a different space. So there's 2 things we have to identify where we think we'll be, what we're going to need, and then also some of it's contractual, right? Games that will be played again, games that won't be played again, and then scheduling in basketball is not always easy. You've got both sides of it. You've got facilities, you got other sports to work with. You've got a lot of different, a lot of moving parts. So we have a lot to work through to come up with that. But I think, for us, we'll evaluate this season as we do every year in terms of the difficulty, who we played, where we played, when we played, and try to be better moving forward.
Obviously, you talked about where this team will be. The portal isn't closed yet. There's still moving parts. So right now, where do you think this team will become?
Well, I think when you look at the 10 players that we have returning, and right now the addition of Destiny Wells, we feel really good about a lot of the pieces that we have. And I think, we feel like we'll be really competitive for what we're looking to do, as we continue to recruit. It will be pieces that allow us to be our best, and to hopefully realize some championships.
Obviously, getting a point guard is really, really crucial for you guys, but speaking of still recruiting, what are you looking for most still in the portal? Like, what are your biggest needs still?
Yeah, I think, when you look at what we lost, obviously bringing in Destiny checks off a lot of boxes for us with her ability to handle the ball, run the offense, and shoot and score. I think she checks off a lot. And then, we're losing some rebounding that I think we've got to address. I think some scoring, some playmaking with Jordan, Horston in particular. I think that's going to be some issues that we either address with the portal or we work on with some of our returning players.
Who are you looking at in the offseason to kind of make a jump in terms of their overall play? Are there certain people you're kind of hoping make some type of a step in the offseason?
Yeah, it's hard. I can't just say her because I want them all. We'll really push them all. I think, I think I could literally make a case for every single player on the team. I just had just visited with Rakia and talked about how she needs to grow and where she needs to get better. And that probably is not everybody's number one thought when you think who needs to improve on this team. But, I think a little bit of down the line. I think just whether that's the physical shape they're in, the skill set, their confidence. I think there's just a lot of things that can be and need to be addressed in this off season for improvement.
What did you learn from that last game? Because it looked like you guys were on an upward swing through the SEC those two tournament games here, and then that game didn't fit where the team seemed to be going. What do you take from that? What did that tell you?
Yeah, I think the hardest part about how the season ended, I thought 6 games leading up to our last game, I thought we played well 5 of them. We played pretty good basketball 5 out of the 6. So you're playing some of your best basketball late. You feel good about it, and to not have a great game against Virginia Tech in the NCAA tournament in the Sweet 16, that it was a little bit bitter. And I think part of it was I think we had some nerves. I really do. I think we were a little bit anxious. I think we kind of reverted back to what we looked like earlier in the season when we were trying to win the game in 2 possessions. And when we were playing our best, we were in it for the long haul. And, I think for our returners, I think that experience under their belt now is going to be really key, really vital. Because although, you had Jordan Horston and Sarah Puckett and some of those people play in the Sweet 16, we had a lot of very key players that had not been on that stage. And I think you could see that a little bit.
Do the players sort of understand that, are they realistic about what happened in that game? I mean, what's been their conversation?
Yeah, we haven't really had a lot of closure basketball wise from that. You come home, you go right into individual meetings, you go to a team meeting, you're working on logistics. We'll get that probably when we start our workouts. I don't want to start talking about our goals before we get to the point that it's time. We need to decompress a little bit for a couple weeks. So next week we'll start with some workouts, and that will be some conversations. They were really disappointed. They were really disappointed in how it went.
Tamari, she's obviously coming back. Has she been cleared yet fully, and is she on track to kind of be back to baseline when you guys get into summer workouts?
Yeah, not cleared as of yet, but we're hoping things go well and continue to progress, and we'll be able to continue to do more with her throughout the summer. No, I don't have one yet. We just have to go through. She's got some scheduled appointments, and we have to go through and then just follow doctor's orders. Yeah, I think obviously that depth is needed, and her ability to play make. I think she had some good games late. I think that was really good. I think she understands where her growth could be, where the needs are for her on our basketball team. But she had a great attitude going down the stretch and was very valuable, and she can really play make in a lot of different ways, and that was good to see.
Tamari and Rakia both talk about just feeling the sense of community and just the love that they feel here in this program. What do you make of that, and then how do you kind of sell that both on the recruiting trail to high schoolers and maybe in the portal?
You don't choose to come back to school if you don't love it, right? You have an opportunity to go play professionally. You have an opportunity to move on in life. If you're coming back here, you love it because it's a commitment. I mean, what we ask them to do is not easy, but it's worth it, and they get it. And I think in particular, those two understand the opportunity that they have when they put on that jersey. Being a Lady Vol is just different, and there is a family. There's a community of support that they have, and no place in the country can support our student athletes like Tennessee. They just can't, and our players feel that. They understand what they have here.
I'm sure you've seen the numbers from the Final Four for the broadcast. I guess, what do you make of that, and just kind of pointing to the overall health of the women's game?
Yeah, I think we talk about it all the time, the parity. No one would have predicted the Sweet 16 teams that, probably not even the Elite 8 teams. And obviously for us, it was great to see 4 SEC teams make it that far. It was the ratings were amazing. People were talking about women's basketball a lot, and I think it's great for our sport. I really do. I think a lot of eyes tuned in, obviously with the numbers, but I think it's not just that. There's excitement, for the game.
You said earlier that Destiny Wells isn't necessarily super vocal. She's more of a lead by example. Over the beginning of last year, you didn't really have someone who was like a clear vocal leader. Is that something you plan to address, whether through the portal or challenging a player? How do you kind of approach that this offseason?
Yeah, I think as some of our returners mature and they get older, I think we're going to have some natural leaders emerge vocally. I think we have some players that we have to work with to train to help them be more vocal. I think Destiny will give us exactly what we need. I have no concerns there. I think she'll be a great leader for us. But also, it's not a one-person job. It's not a one-person show. There's so many aspects to leadership or to team chemistry, and everybody's playing a role. Some people have to be vocal. Some people have to lead by example. Some people are, the hype person, right? They've got to bring the energy every single day. So everyone is going to play a role with an intangible off the court.
You feel like, based on what you know right now about Key's situation, are you encouraged that you have a decent chance to get her back to where she was?
I think so. And obviously, I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I don't want to speak out of turn before our physicians are able to go through things. But I feel confident. And if everything goes well medically, then I feel very confident that we've got enough time to be able to get her back into shape, back to where she was, and then, even progress from there.
With Tamari having to sit sideline for the majority of the season, have you seen her learn anything that's going to aid when she comes back and is cleared to play?
Yeah, I think when you are sidelined, right, when you are pulled from the court and you have to look at the game differently, you're seeing it from a different lens. I think it helps your growth. It's not what you ask for. You don't do it on purpose, right? But I think the growth of players in that situation where you're learning, you're seeing it from almost a coach's angle. I think it helps you. And actually, she and I talked about that. I think she has a better understanding. She's been a leader And she has a good IQ and understands what it's supposed to look like. But I think now that's even taken to another level. And we will use that experience and that maturity this year.
Where do you feel like her mental's at? Obviously, it's a tough thing to go through, but just kind of looking forward to next season now. Like, where would you say her mental at right now?
I'll be honest with you, I think she's in a good place. I think she's excited about the opportunity and, looking forward to the time that she can be on the court. I think she understands the challenges that she'll have when she does come back on the court. Going from not playing to trying to get back into shape is not going to be an easy task, but it's one that she's looking forward to. In terms of her mental state and her attitude, I think it's really positive right now.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.